are the poems that are included in the syllabus of class 12. I mean, the CBSE syllabus, these chapters are included. So let us touch the poetries now, whatever poems are there. The first poem, My Mother at 66, by Kamala Das. Okay, everybody open your textbooks at page 90. If it matches with your book, if the page number matches, then open page 90. Or you can open poetry in the poetry section. First poetry, My Mother at 66. I think I've done this chapter in the class when the classes were going on in the school. This chapter, I think I had started in the class. If someone amongst you was there in the class, might recall that might be I just started the chapter or the poetry. My Mother at 66. Okay, let us start the poem. It is a very small poem, very short poem. My Mother at 66. Now, the poem is written by Kamala Das. Kamala Das is a poet from Kerala, the South Indian state. Kerala, you all know that. And she wrote poems in the Malayalam language and other languages also, but mainly she wrote in Malayalam, that is Keralian language, Malayalam language. Mainly she wrote. She was born in Malabar, Kerala, and she is recognized as India's one of the most famous poets, one of the foremost poets of our country. Now, Kamala Das, if you go through her poems, you'll see that her poems are known for their originality. She did not copy any poet. She was original in her writings, and she was versatile and the indigenous flavor of the soil, and had the indigenous flavor of the soil. And her poems had the touch of her soils, means touch of Kerala, since she was born in Kerala. So her poems also had that touch in them. Kamala Das has published has published many novels. Now, she has written novels, she has written short stories in English and also in Malayalam language. Now, she had a pen name, that is Madhavi Kutti. By this pen name, she wrote many prose pieces, novels, poetries. So, her popularity is mainly upon her short stories and her poems and her autobiography. Now, this poem is related to her autobiography. It is an autobiographical poem because in this poem she writes her recollections about her mother. Now, you see, my mother at 66. Now, she wrote the poem when her mother was of the age 66. Now, 66, we can consider this age as means one turns old. After 61 becomes, you all know, the senior citizen. So 66, we can say that the person has turned old. Whoever is 66, this age recognizes that one has turned of age, and all the symptoms of old age can be seen in that person who has turned the age 66. Though from person to person it may vary also. Some persons turn old too early. Some, due to their good health, good immunity power, at the age of 66 may not look old, that old. But some may look old at this age also. That will depend upon the health. Now, regarding Kamala Das's mother and her age, 66, let us go through the poem, what Kamala Das has to say about her 66 aged mother. Now, we know that aging is a natural process. Yeah, of course, it's a natural process. Years go by and we grow older day by day. Every day passes and we grow old one day. So day by day, year by year passes. People grow old, men grow, everybody grow old and reach the old age at one period. This is the stark reality of life, that every person, everyone will grow old one day or the other. Every person, that is the law of nature, that one will grow old and attain an age that he will be called old. So Kamala Das's mother has also grown old, means she has turned 66. Now, when people grow old, when parents grow old, they expect something from their children. Because we all know that our parents nurture us when we were, our parents had nurtured us when we were means child. When you were young in age, our parents guided us, they still guide us in our way. So when they grow old, when they turn of age, our mind also turns bitter when we look at our aged parents, because they had guided us, they had looked after us the whole of their life. Now they have grown old. At that point of time, what thinking or what thought comes to us? And Kamala Das's mind also, the same thought comes when she sees her mother, old mother, who is sitting beside her as she was in the car. Both of them were in the car. And her old mother, means her age is 66. Her mother sits beside us, and as she notices her mother, who has turned 66, means who has turned old, aged, what are her emotions at that point of time when she sees her mother? We shall see the emotions that passes her mind when she notices her mother very closely when she has turned old. You see, this is a realization, this is a feeling which every one of us experience. This is quite natural feeling when we see our aged father or mother, because they have looked after us the whole of their life, and now they have turned old. They've turned, they've become aged. Some of us, we have noticed that in our society also we have seen, we do see that some children or some son or daughter do not look after their parents when they turn old. They turn them out of their homes even, and they have to take shelter in the old homes. It should not be like this. We have to look after our parents, because the parents have given birth to us and taken care of us the whole of their life. They've made us big. They've educated us. So it is our duty to look after our parents also. Now you see, let us start the poem. My mother at 66. So we have come to know about the poet. Some famous writings of her, Kamala Das, are The Descendants. Remember The Descendants, Ant Katha, My Story, etc. My Story is autobiographical. My Story is autobiographical. She has written, her autobiography is very famous in our country, Kamala Das's autobiography. So it is a very famous one. And especially in Kerala, where people consider her one of the greatest writers of that state, Kamala Das. She was born in 1934. Remember, 1934, during the British regime, she was born. March 3rd March, she was born, 1934, born in Kerala. And the name of the place where she was born was Punaya Yarkulam. Punaya Yarkulam is a place in Kerala, in Malabar. She was born there. And as I told, her pen name was Madhavi Kutty. Through this pen name, she wrote many of her writings, many of her pieces. So she's a famous writer, we can say, for our country and mainly of Kerala. Most of her writings are in Malayalam language, and also she wrote in English. Okay, let us start the poem. You see the first line: driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday. Now, driving means she is driving a car. She was going to the airport from her home. She was driving the car, and her old mother was beside her, sitting beside her. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday. So Cochin is the place in Kerala, Cochin. So Cochin is a very important place in Kerala, very famous place. It is a tourist attraction also, Cochin. Like Tiruvananthapuram, Cochin is very famous and important place in Kerala. So driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday. So as she was driving from my parents' home, she was driving from her parents' home. She was there in the parents' home. Now remember, she is a married woman. She resides in her husband's home. Now she has gone to her parents' house where her own father and mother lives. She has gone to that house and was driving from her parents' home to Cochin last Friday. So from her parents' home, she was going to Cochin. morning, Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. So as she was driving, she saw her mother beside her. She was noticing her mother closely. She was watching her mother. That she was sitting beside her. Beside me, doze means she was dozing. Her old mother, her aged mother, was dozing. Means as she was sitting in the car and the poet Kamala Das was driving, she was dozing off. Means she was like having a short nap in the car. Light sleep, we can say, dozing off. Suppose when you ride a vehicle, when you're riding a car or any other vehicle, some people doze off. Some people doze while they're in the vehicle. Uh, many persons have that habit of dozing actually while getting into a vehicle. Now, Kamala Das's mother is old, feeble, weak, 66 of age. So it is quite natural that she will doze in the car because she is very feeble, weak lady, aged also. So it is quite natural that she is dozing. So I saw my mother beside me dozing, open mouth. Her mouth was open at that time as she was dozing in the car. Her mouth was open. Some people doze with the open mouth. We have seen that. I hope you have also seen when you're traveling in buses or in any kind of vehicle. When a person beside you doze, sometimes the head comes and falls upon your shoulder also. So it's a quite common scene while traveling in any kind of vehicle. It is dozing. So Kamala Das's mother was also dozing. So she was open mouth, dozing open mouth, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain. So her face was like ashen. Ash means you all know that what is ash. When something burns, ashes. Fire. When something burns, ash comes. So ash means something that is pale. So her face was ash-like, means very pale looking. Quite natural that aged person, as she is a very aged person, very old, 66 age, her face is also pale like ash, very pallid, pale, of a corpse and realized with pain. So it was like her body was like a sitting as she was sitting and dozing. Kamala Das felt that it was like a dead body that was sitting beside her. Kamala Das felt that her mother was sitting like a dead body. No movement, very pale. Are you getting me, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
okay. Fine. So you should also interact sometimes. Any kind of problem regarding any kind of difficulty that you face, should also come up with them. Now, one thing I want to ask you: has any teacher done this chapter before me? My mother at 66. Has
No,
any
sir.
teacher? Huh?
No, sir. The other teachers haven't.
Okay, okay. So, what are you saying? Yeah, open mouth, her face ashen, like ash, very pale, uh, and realized with pain, and her face looked very painful. Also, that she was in pain. Her face, because after seeing her face, one could realize that she was in pain. So, like it was like aching or paining her body. So we can see that from Kamala Das's description of her mother as she was sitting beside her. Kamala Das's mother, as she was sitting beside her in the car, and she was going from her parents' home to the airport, and her mother sitting beside her. We can find out. We can come to the from her description. Uh, we can come to see that her mother is dozing in the car, and according to her description, Kamala Das's description, her mother uh, was open mouth, dozing, and face was very pale, and she was in pain. That she was as old as she looked, but soon. So she was as old as she looked. So she looked like 66. She was aged 66. She looked like 66 also. She did not look younger than her age. She looked like 66, but soon put the thought away and looked out at young trees printing. Now look, at the time her thought about her mother was that uh, we can see that the thing that symbolizes the age, 66 age, were seen in her mother, like pale face. She was in pain. She was dozing in the car with open mouth. So all these things reflects that her mother, aged 66, looked the same as her age, and also she was in that condition. Her physical condition was such that reflects her old age, means 66. She was not younger also. Her looks were not younger. Her looks were that of 66, and her health condition. We can see she was dozing in the car, means she was weak. If one dozes in the car with open mouth, means she's very weak, very feeble. And Kamala Das has mentioned that she looked like a corpse, like a dead body sitting beside her. No movement, no activity, dozing with open mouth, no activity there. So everything uh, reflects the thought that her age, 66, due to her age, she has turned feeble. Her health is not stable also. So all these things, from all these things, we can come to the conclusion that her age has got her. Her age, uh, her age has got into her. She has turned weak. She has turned uh, infirm. She is weak, feeble. Now she is saying that put that thought away. Now for a moment, she has put that thought out of her mind that her mother, old mother, is sitting beside her looking like a dead body. The point wants to say, Kamala wants to say that the trees are sprinting, young trees are sprinting. Sprinting, we all know that is running fast. So the young trees are sprinting. When you sit in a car or any kind of vehicle, we move forward. The trees that are by the side of the road, by the street, they pass away from us. They go backward, and we move forward, isn't it? If we are passing the vehicle, the trees, or any, or not only trees, or for that matter, any kind of person, it can be person also, any kind of thing, they come and they pass away. They come, we see them in the front and then they pass away. It seems that they are running away. It is actually, the thing is that they are not running away. Actually, they are in the same position, the trees are in the same position, but the car is moving forward, isn't it? The car is moving forward. The trees are there in the same. What does that mean? Looked out at the young tree sprinting. Young tree sprinting. What does the poet mean to say? Can anybody say me?
Sir, I think it indicates that time is flying away.
Fine. We all. Okay. That is the law of nature that at one point of time all of us are young. But as time flies away, we get old day by day. Every passing day, we get old by every passing day. Now, the poet says about the sprinting, young trees sprinting. Now, young trees means the poet tries to say about the young people sprinting away, because everybody of us at one stage, we are child, we are born, we get we turn, and then middle age, then old age, all the stages come. Stage by stage, all the period that a man experiences in his life, he overcomes them. But everybody is young at one point of time. So the poet says that the trees are young. The passing trees sitting in the car, the young trees she sees, and she, right, every person at one stage passes the young stage or the child stage at one point of time. Then, uh, he says that, she says that the old, she says about the young trees that are passing away. Sprinting means they're running in the opposite direction. Actually, the trees are not running; they are in the same position. The car is moving forward. That's why it seems that the trees are running in the opposite direction. They're passing by. So the poet says like this: sprinting. Then she says that married children spilling out of their homes. After she says young trees, she says for the married children spilling out of their homes. The children in a joyous mood. They are coming out of their homes in numbers. The trees, young trees, the married children, everything reflects the young age. Remember, everything reflects the young age. The trees are also young. The children means they are also young. The poet is trying to make us understand by contrast. The poet's mother is now old. Remember, the poet's mother is now 66, and she's not telling about the young trees, about the children who are also young. So, by this contrast, what does she try to make us understand? That everybody passes that stage. Everybody passes that stage, young age, and then everybody becomes old. That is the stark reality of life, which everybody will experience one day or the other. By this thing, he wants to make us realize, he tries to make us feel she tries that everybody will grow old one day or the other, as her mother has also grown old just now. The married children spilling out of their homes, the married children coming out of their homes. Spilling out means coming out in numbers. But after the airports, now that point is discussed, means she has raised before us, printing trees, young children coming out of their homes. These 2 points is brought before us, these 2 things, pictures. Now again she has gone back. She was in the car with her mother, remember. But after the airport security check, now we have seen that earlier she told that she's going from her parents' home to the airport. Now, when we go to the airport and board the flight, before the boarding of the flight, there is a security check that is to be done by all of us. Whenever we go to means out of a state by flight, we have to pass the security check before leaving or before boarding flight. So, going to another place by flight, so the security check had to be done. So after completing the airport security check, standing a few yards away, at a distance to standing a few years away, I looked again at her. I looked again at her Her face was like late winter's moon. Late winter's moon. What does the poet Yes. Am I audible? Can you hear me, all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So the poet is saying late winter's moon. Her mother was looking like late winter's moon. During late winter, the moon is pale because at that time the moon is not so bright because fog is there in the sky. The late winter mist is there in the sky, so the moon looks very hazy. The moon looks not very bright. The moon looks pale because of the mist of the fog that is in the sky. Not very clear at the time, the moon in the late winter. So the poet compares her mother's face with the late winter's moon because to show the paleness of her face that looked like the late winter's moon, that is very hazy, not clear, not bright, uh, very faded, the late winter moon, very faded, very unimpressive, very pale, not very bright, the moon at that late winter. So after the security check, the poet, when she saw her mother, when she looked at her mother, very face was pale. She compared her mother's face to the late winter's moon. Look, the poet is very pained to see this condition of her mother. So she says, felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. So she felt that same pain when she saw her mother turning old and looking very pale. So she felt that familiar ache, means familiar pain, when she saw her mother, the old familiar ache uh, that she had, the childhood's fear. The childhood fear. What is the childhood's fear? What is the childhood's fear?
Losing her mother.
Separating her.
That's right. That's right. Abhiraj, well said. The childhood's fear is that she had a fear. She was frightened at the thought that she may lose her mother. At the childhood stage, she had that thought that if one day she loses her mother, what will happen? She was so close to her mother. That thought came to her in her childhood days. That fear, losing her mother. And that fear is still there in her mind when she is in the airport right now and she looked at her mother. That fear came back to her mind. That is the reality, that everyone will lose her parents one day or the other. If it is not today, maybe tomorrow or in the next future, because man is mortal. We all know that every man is mortal. We have to pass away one day or the other. We have to pass away from this universe. So that will come for everybody. The poet is trying to say the words before us that everybody will face that day when one will lose their parents. So that fear in everybody of us, I think the fear is there of losing their parents. If anybody loves their parents, that fear is there in everybody of us, that when that day will come, one day or the other, of losing them. They are our nearest ones, our parents. So that fear, I think, is there in everybody of us. The fear, the fright of losing them. So this fear is there from the very childhood of Komala Das. And just now also, my childhood fear, her childhood's fear came back. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma. But only she said few words. She said, see you soon. She calls her mother Amma. So she addressed her mother Amma and said that see you soon, means they would meet together very soon. They would meet together again. And she addressed her mother as Amma. In the Malayalam, they call her mother. They call the mother Amma in Malayalam language. If anybody knows the language, Amma in Malayalam means mother. So she said that she assured her mother that we shall meet soon. Means they will meet soon. Her mother is leaving the place, boarding the flight, and before leaving, she said the parting words. Before parting, she said that they will meet soon. All I did was smile and smile and smile. So all the while she was smiling. She smiled and smiled and smiled. Just to show that enthusiasm, just to show that encouragement to her mother, the smiling face to her mother, so that her mother does not break down. Because she is old aged. If she cries, if the poet cries, her mother will be depressed. Her mother will feel morose, will feel sad if she cries. So she was smiling. She was giving farewell to her mother, to her departing mother, with a smiling face. So that, as I told you, so that she doesn't get depressed. So that the crying face does not make her feel depressed. So she was smiling and smiling and smiling and bidding adieu, bidding farewell to her mother. She tried to be normal before her mother. We know that the feeling is in her. She has mentioned the fright, that she was afraid, she was frightened about the childhood's fear. She has mentioned that before, and now she's trying to stay normal. She's trying to stay normal by smiling because her mother is departing to another place. So she's concerned about her mother. She's very concerned about her mother's ill health. She has very frail health, very ill health. She's very concerned about that also. But she tried to hide her emotions. She tried to conceal her emotions before her mother, before departing. That emotion, that sad feeling, she tried to hide before her mother. That emotional feeling, she tried to hide by laughing. And she did not want to reveal before her mother that feeling of losing. She did not try to reveal for her mother. And that emotion she concealed. And she bade her farewell with a smiling face. And she also assured her mother that they will meet very soon. And she kept on smiling and smiling. So I think that was a very concerted effort, a very deliberate effort to hide her feelings for her mother. The fright, the horror that she faces when that feeling comes to her that she will lose her mother. The thought of losing comes to her mind, and that makes her very morose. But she tries to hide those emotions by smiling, giving a smiling face to her mother, so that, as I told, she doesn't get depressed. That was a deliberate attempt to hide her feelings and to show a smiling face to her mother, so that her mother does not understand that feeling that is inside her, what she's thinking about her mother, so that her mother doesn't understand that. What does she do? She smiles and smiles and smiles and gives a smiling adieu to her mother as she's departing or boarding the flight. She's ready to board the flight. That is the poem. Very short poem, but full of emotions, some reality, some realistic feelings about the death. The death is such a thing that everybody of us will undergo one day or the other, and she brings us that feeling about our parents and about us also, that one day we may not exist. One day we have to pass away. So our mother is also on the verge of passing away because she has attained the old age, and any day she may pass away. And that fear is there right from childhood about passing away or losing her mother. But she tries to hide those thoughts, those feelings from her mother, because her mother is very weak, very frail, going to another place right now by flight. And these emotions are just now working in her. But she tries to conceal, to hide those feelings, those emotions, and bidding her mother very happy farewell, very happy adieu. So this is the small poem. Some questions can be asked from here. Any kind of question you have to answer from here? Suppose we have been in the think it out or in the exercise portion here. What is the kind of pain and ache that the poet feels? What is the kind of pain and ache that the poet feels? What is the pain and ache? What is the pain?
So the pain of separation.
The pangs of separation. And what is the ache? The childhood fear is the ache that is constantly or continuously with him. That has never left him from the childhood. Of losing his mother. That is the pain, that is the ache that is constantly with him from his childhood. That is childhood fear. Once childhood fear is such a fear that remains with him all the life, all the while that is that remains with him. The childhood fear is such a fear. Because if any fright, any kind of terror, any kind of fright is there in the mind in the childhood, that is very hard to overcome, that remains with him. And that comes in him after a period of time. Again, it comes back regularly after a period of time. That thought, that feeling of childhood. Any kind of situation, any kind of circumstances that is similar to that thought, again, he recalls, or that no need of recalling, that comes automatically to his mind. That situation, that circumstances, which is very similar to that childhood fear or childhood fright, continuously comes. Why are the young trees described as sprinting? These are 2 marks questions. Why are the young trees described as sprinting? I think you can answer the question also. Why are the young trees described as sprinting? The young trees are described as sprinting because the trees are moving in the opposite direction while sitting in the car. The trees are moving in the opposite direction and in a certain speed they are moving. So it seems that as they are moving in the opposite direction, it seems that they are sprinting. While the poet brought out the images of married children fleeing out of their homes, prepared these questions, very important questions, all these things. We have brought in the image of married children because the poet has brought the image of married children. Why has the poet brought this image of married children? Can anybody say?
So to means in contrast of the of her old mother, the happiness,
Yes, Abhiraj?
the happiness of that of those children, in contrast of the dozing old mother.
Yeah. Very good. That is show the contrast of the old age and the young age. Her mother has attained old age. Now she is showing the young children also. The image of the young children she is showing to bring before us the thought that everybody is young at one point of time. Everybody is young, and then everybody attains old age at one point of time. So bring that thought, bring that feeling. She shows the images of married children. We can prepare the broad answer from here. What are the parting words of the poet and the smile signify? It can be a broad question also of 6 marks. Accordingly, prepare for the 6 marks or even for 2 marks also. Suppose the question can come, why has the mother been compared to the late winter's moon? Because these are all the questions from the exercise. So prepare the exercise questions. If this question directly doesn't come, then the questions related to this might come in the exam. So prepare the MCQ questions also, multiple choice questions. So that old familiar ache. Which one will be the answer? Have you heard the question?
No, sir.
Okay, I was saying that the old familiar ache. What does the poet means? What does the word familiar mean? Is it well known? Is it unknown? Is it strange? It is related to family. Which one?
Well known.
Well known.
Yeah, very good, Himadri. It is well known. Her mother's pale face reminded the poet of. The options are before you. A childhood's fear, a late winter's moon, another old lady, a dead body. Which is the correct
A
option?
late
Late winter's moon.
winter's moon.
Her mother's pale reminded the poet of late winter's moon. That is the correct answer. So prepare yourself for the MCQ questions. I hope you'll be able to answer because I have made you understand line by line and the meaning also. I think you've got the meaning, the poem, and the words also. All the words understood. So I hope any kind of question, whether it is MCQ, whether it is broad question or small answer, small question, I think every question you'll be able to answer. But still, go through the text again. Read the poem again very carefully, attentively. Read the poem and the questions given in the exercise. Prepare them. Okay. So we have finished another poem. So 3 chapters means 2 prose, 1 poetry already finished in the online mode. Next day, I think it will be good if we start 1 chapter in the Vistas because we are doing the Flamingo. Vistas we have not started, isn't it? The supplementary reader. We have not started. Next day we can start the supplementary reader, isn't it? Yes, can we start the supplementary reader the next day?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because we have not touched the supplementary reader till now. So the next day, take the book supplementary reader before you. We shall start it, the first chapter. We shall start the chapter in the supplementary reader. Vistas. So students, remain in your homes, not just now. Don't come out of your homes if it is not absolutely necessary. Don't get any kind of crowded place. Maintain distance among yourself. You know, the situation is very worse. Getting worse day by day. Because you have to keep yourself fit. Your exams are very near. Because online exam we can take. The schools are not opening. Remember, the schools are not opening right now. it is possible that we will take one online exam, online test. The summer vacation is up to the 5th of this month. Now, we don't know whether the schools will be opening after the summer vacation is over. There will be some kind of notification from the department if the school opens. All the school will be opening if all the school opens, not only our school. At a time, all the schools will be opening. But we don't know what will happen, whether we will be coming to school or not. If you are not coming to school, you shall be taking an online test in this month, in this month of June, on the completed syllabus. I hope all the teachers are completing the syllabus, isn't it? Subjects, all other subjects. Yes. Are the teachers completing the syllabus?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, if we take an online test, will you be prepared for that? 20 marks
Yes, sir.
online test. Remember, in the month of June, this month, if the school doesn't reopen, the school opens, we'll be taking the test in the school. If the school doesn't open, then we shall be taking the online test in the month of June. In every subject, not only English, in every subject, the teachers will be taking the online test. For every subject. That will come in the final assessment. Remember, this year CBSE has cancelled the exam. You all know that. CBSE has already cancelled the 12 exams. Tripura board has not taken any decision till now. Maybe there will be meeting. Very recently, there will be meeting regarding the exam, regarding the fate of the students, higher secondary students and mathematics students. Because still now it is undecided whether there will be 12 exams or not in Tripura board. Regarding CBSE, already they have cancelled the higher secondary exams. In that case, the internal assessment marks that will be given by the school will get importance. Basing upon that marks, the board results might be given this year upon the internal assessment marks. We don't know what will happen in your time. Maybe situation will improve. And next year, because you'll be giving the exam next year, the board exams, PBSC exams next year you'll be facing. We can only hope that the situation will improve and you can face the exams regularly without any kind of problem. You'll be able to face the exam. Let us be all pessimistic. Let us all be optimistic that you'll be able to face the exam regularly as you face in next year. We can all be hopeful of that. But get yourself prepared. Other subjects also. Get yourself prepared for the online test. If the schools are not opening by the 5th, there will be an announcement. Because the summer vacation will be over on the 5th. Before that, there will be a notification. And you'll be able to come to know whether you'll be coming to school or not. Because the situation is not good nowadays. And there is no such kind of signal also that the situation will improve. It's getting worse. So, picking up on this, the department will be giving a notification regarding opening of the schools or closure of the schools. If it is closed, they will announce. If it is opening, they will announce. And if it is like closing the schools, schools are closed, students will not be coming, then we shall take the online test. So be prepared for this one, for the test. What about other subjects like physics, chemistry, biology? The classes are going on. I'm seeing there. The online classes are going on. Abhiraj,
Yes, sir.
physics, chemistry, biology, the
Yes,
science,
sir.
they are going on, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay, maths class is also being taken.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. What about the arts, Hoshi?
Yes, sir.
The arts subjects. What about the information about the arts? The classes, online classes?
Sir, classes are going on.
Okay, syllabus is being covered.
Sir, teachers are doing the chapters.
How many chapters have been covered? Suppose I think of Paul Science.
Sir, Paul Science 2 books from part A and part 2, both 3 chapters completed.
Completed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. What are the other subjects you have other than Paul Science? You have psychology.
Sir, all psychology, Manti Ma'am Shubhashish sir is doing one chapter. Manti Ma'am chapter 1 doing and Shubhashish sir chapter 2.
Okay, fine. And what more you have subjects?
I have Bengali, history and geography.
Okay, geography also Nivedita ma'am is doing the class, I think.
Yes, sir. Today Onupa madam has also taken.
Okay, and what about history?
History, Mantu sir have completed first chapter and from second chapter sir has given questions and sir is in sub chapters, the second chapter is going on.
Okay, fine. All the teachers are taking the class. The summer vacation, they are taking the classes. They are taking the class thinking of your benefit. They are all taking the class. I have requested them to take the class with you because if the classes are not taken regularly on regular basis, if the classes are not taken, then might be you may lag behind. If you are following the class properly and the syllabus is being covered by the concerned teachers, then hopefully we can cover the syllabus in time. So the situation is like this, that we are not coming to school, but through online we can cover if we can cover the syllabus, then we can take the test also. The online test we can take if it is if the syllabuses are covered. The teachers will be giving the syllabus about the test beforehand. Suppose there will be like 5 to 10 days in between before the intimation about the test will be given. Might be you'll be having 5 to 10 days in your hands before the exam will be start, before the test will be starting. So let us wrap up today for now. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Remain in touch with your studies and keep yourself safe from any kind of health hazard. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Bye. Good night. Take care.